I'm Mike.
And I'm Ray.
And this is the Know Nothings podcast number 60.
60, we did it, and we're doing 2 this week. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good doing 2. I just set all this stuff up, and I hate taking it down, like the green screen and the cameras and the microphones and all that stuff. It's kind of I go to setting it. I've gotten good at it though, where I've gotten the cords like wrapped together where they're supposed to go, so I could just put it down, plug them in.
We need a place. We need a studio where we can set this up and just leave it.
Right.
That's
the plan.
That's kind of the dream. We need more sponsors than RotoWipe to come on board to get us to our dream.
We need some more of these sponsors. So, the RotoWipe's a good sponsor. They do us good. They do our butts good. They gave us 2 free ones. That's the sponsor. No money.
So, we left off yesterday. I was talking about my top 3 guitarists, and it was the end of the show. So you didn't get to jump into yours. So we gotta fill you out there, pal.
Yeah, we gotta do. Y'all gotta see that I've been playing music my whole life, and my top 3 guitarists are dog shit.
So mine were Iommi, Blackmore, and Mustaine. And everyone's gonna have their own top 3. That's okay. It's okay to disagree, but you'll be wrong. But Mike will have a different 3 than me. But we went through that top 30 from Guitar World and Rolling Stone.
I couldn't actually get the Guitar World to come up, but I did just now on my iPad get it to come up.
Oh, really? Oh, let's run through it before you give your top 3 then.
So, yeah.
Because I said the top 30 could all make an argument that
they're all top 3.
You could say this is my top 3, this is my top 3. It's all kind of objective at a certain point.
Yeah, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, we're doing good.
Or subjective, I should say.
And also yesterday, if you listen to yesterday's, the sound sounds kind of funny because I never hit record. I've got these expensive microphones and I never hit record.
Did you hit record today?
I hit record today.
It sounds a little funky in my ear, but I guess it's because my voice is coming back to me.
Through. Yeah. So, but this little Roland switcher also records, so it recorded it, but it recorded it like it sounded like we were in the room and not like as good as it could sound. But anyway, okay, so the Guitar World.
Start at 30.
Start at 30 and go down?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Guitar World, which I give more credence to Guitar World's list than Rolling Stones. And Rolling Stones had my number 1 guy at Tony Iommi at number 25.
Now, this list, you can just search Guitar World Top 100 because it's a good list. It has a YouTube video for every single person. And then
that's what you need, so people on the internet can get on there and talk about how it's not that good and they can do better.
Yeah, because everybody knows better than Guitar World. Okay, look, here's the thing. I've been playing. I taught myself how to play guitar when I was 14 using Guitar World magazine.
Yeah, when they used to have the tablatures in there and stuff.
Yeah, and you'd get it, and it'd have a Jimi Hendrix tab in it, and like Soundgarden Spoon Man.
Yeah,
and then back then though, you would get one and look at it at the store, and you'd see that Soundgarden's tuning was way crazy. And if you just started playing guitar like I did, you were like, "Oh man, I don't know how to do that."
Because they were copying Tony Iommi's tuning,
right,
or trying to.
Okay, let's see. Well, I kind of got lost there for a second. Hold on one second. I'm seeing a different number 1 now. Yeah, we're real. Okay. We're going to start with the top 25.
Okay, do that.
Because every time I change the page for some... Guitar World doesn't have it going on too good with their website, apparently.
Get it together, Guitar World. Yeah, hopefully your list is better than your website.
I couldn't get it on yesterday.
Get your shit together, pal.
Yeah, I couldn't get it together. Okay, number 25 is Joe Perry.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe Perry.
I'll take it. I mean, yeah, it's hard to argue with
25,
38 million albums or whatever.
That is. Peter Frampton.
Okay.
Steve Howe.
Not familiar with Steve Howe.
Steve Howe joining.
That's the first one you said on both days that I don't know who he is.
Joining Yes in 1970.
Okay, Steve Howe. Yes, okay. Yes, I know. Yes is incredible progressive band. Are you familiar with Yes at all?
No.
Very they're the pioneers of progressive rock. They invented all that crazy shit that people try to do. That's Yes.
Okay, so Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of feel to him.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Pete Townsend, number 21.
Okay.
Yep.
Not mad at that.
Not mad.
Great stage presence also, which is a factor for me.
George Harrison, top 20.
Yep.
Yep.
He was top 10 on the other one.
Yeah.
Hard to argue. It's hard to argue. I'll say this. Very hard to make an argument against anything the Beatles.
Right.
Maturing is realizing the Beatles are every bit as good as everyone ever said they were. That's maturity. Yeah, George Harrison's the shit.
Frank Zappa, 19.
Yes. Love me some. Zappa's writing whole orchestra pieces. And like Steve Vai was in his band and couldn't keep up.
They call him Rock's mad scientist and savant genius.
Yes, he is that. He's so much that not everyone can get Zappa for sure.
Right. Keith Richards beat Zappa.
Yeah, because the Stones are still. They just wrapped up their 62nd year on tour.
Oh, Jesus.
62 years on tour, and he's all about feel and just the riff and just the cool. And that dude, nobody's got more fucking swagger than Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Like that dude's the shit, man. He's cool as fuck.
Yeah,
and he doesn't care.
And all the jokes for the people that don't really know, but you probably if you were young, you didn't even know who he was until you're the joke that after an atomic bomb blast,
cockroaches,
it would be cockroaches and Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Hey, love.
Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good with the list so far. I'm good with it.
Okay, we got Joe Walsh.
Yeah, Joe Walsh is exceptional. He brought it. He made the beat of the Eagles cool.
Yeah,
the Eagles were kind of yacht rock to me, and then Joe Walsh came in. It's like this whole new cool vibe.
Hotel California.
Well, just in general, everything he brought to the Eagles. I'm not even sure. Was he before Hotel California?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe. Hold on, let me make sure I'm right before somebody yells at me on the internet.
That's okay.
When you record an album such as Hotel California, putting your own spin on the Eagles' easy West Coast sound on tracks like Life in the Fast Lane. Okay, yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
So you were actually what you just said. They just said he made them cool.
He made them. He 100% made them cool. Yeah.
Dwayne Allman
again,
which you sent. It's number 16.
Totally agree.
Which you sent me the thing. I haven't listened. I haven't had time yet, but I'm gonna totally check all that out.
You got to dig into that. Yeah. Just listen to what I sent you, and you'll go, okay, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Billy Gibbons.
Yep. Again.
Billy Gibbons.
Again,
yes.
it's a cool factor and a presence factor, and it's let's not forget these dudes. Some of the ones that we're gonna say, well, they're not the most technical or the whatever you think the best is. Man, these dudes wrote some super catchy, cool songs. That's part of being a good guitar player. There's a bunch of people that can play a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
And cannot write a fucking song to save their life.
Yeah.
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah.
Again, to me, he's so great and he's so incredible. But he's listenable for 5 to 8 minutes. You're okay, I get it.
We were saying that yesterday. He gets into it and starts playing, and you're like, good God, this guy's blazing. He's
amazing.
A beast. And then about 4 minutes in, you're like, ooh, I get it. He's good, but man.
But it never goes. He never makes a song.
Yeah, right.
That's.
Well, I had Steve Vai, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you. And Steve Vai, awesome,
incredible.
Was that Silver Surfer album?
Yeah, the Surfing with the Blue Alien.
Yeah, and then it's just amazing. But yet again, I can only listen to it for so long.
Yeah,
and then I want something else.
Give me the song. Yeah. So what's what
14,
number we on?
Gary Moore.
Gary Moore is incredible. He was almost. That was Gary Moore. Fun fact was almost Randy Rhoads.
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy was begging Gary Moore before he found Randy Rhoads to please join when he was trying to start Blizzard of Oz.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it would have worked out good for Gary Moore anyway because Thin Lizzy and Gary Moore blues. Yeah, he's. Are you familiar with Gary Moore? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's tremendous.
Angus and Malcolm Young.
They gave it to both of them, right?
13, yeah. Number 13.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Mark Knopfler.
Hell to the from Dire Straits.
Dire Straits dude. Dire Straits is awesome.
What?
God,
yes,
they're awesome.
Yes.
He's got the headband on, and dude, and
just his the riffs.
The riffs.
The riffs. I mean, Money for Nothing.
Money for Nothing.
That's maybe the best riff of that year.
Yeah.
85, whenever it came out, 84.
Carlos Santana.
Man, okay. I never got it. I never got the Santana wave, but I don't hate on it. He's good. I get it, but
I'm not getting in my car and listening to it.
But I see why people think it's tremendous, and he was one of the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
And goes back to Woodstock and before, and he's great. He's good. Not mad at the list at all so far.
Here's the top 10.
Okay, here we go.
Top 10 starts off with Slash.
Okay, for sure.
For sure. Jeff Beck.
Absolutely.
Number 9. Yeah.
And any top 30 list without Jeff Beck is criminal.
Alex Lifeson.
Oh, yeah, from Rush.
From Rush. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Richie Blackmore.
My guy.
Deep Purple.
That's my and Rainbow. They don't give him credit for Rainbow because Rainbow is better than Deep Purple.
Spot. Let's see. Hard Rock's own Man in Black, Richie Blackmore, redefined guitar for a generation.
He did. Part of the Unholy Trinity.
Using beyond pentatonic shapes and towards classical music for inspiration. Denim and leather. Let's see. They don't say. I don't see anything.
If they don't mention Rainbow,
It's hard to envision power metal happening
without Rainbow.
I don't see. It doesn't say anything about Rainbow at all.
Of course, it's hard to see power metal happening without Richie Blackmore, who started
Rainbow.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to,
Not on there, right? They don't.
no, it doesn't even mention Rainbow.
Who's writing this? An intern? Just Deep Purple. Not like Deep. Not like a Just Deep Purple. Like.
Oh shoot.
But if you're in, all right, here's another thing about Richie Blackmore. Imagine you're in a band as good as Deep Purple, and you leave it to start a better band. That's great. That's hard to do.
David Gilmour, number 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Comfortably Numb solo is hard to argue with.
Yeah. Eric Clapton gets the top 5.
Okay.
Eddie Van Halen, number 4.
Yep. So one of my guys,
here we go.
One of my guys is only one guy made the top 25. It's crazy.
Top 3. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Page.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I say
Yeah,
Iommi.
he's good.
Yeah.
Who do you think 2? You know who 1 is, but do you know who 2 is?
2 would be. You've already said Clapton. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be one of my guys, Mustaine or Iommi, because they would have been more like for a mainstream article, more like in the 20s or 30s probably. It's gonna. You've already said Beck. You've already said Clapton. You've already said Page.
Well, who's left?
I mean,
from this kind of list.
I mean, for me, it'd be like Randy Rhoads is not on there yet, which is criminal. He's not in the top 25 either. That's crazy as fuck. Hendrix is number 1, right? Like
Hendrix is number 2.
Hendrix is number 2.
That's who you were fishing for. And they have Brian May.
Brian May
is number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't picking the best.
That's what I said. The top.
That's
what I said. You do the top 30 or 40, and then it becomes an opinion. After that, it's not really an opinion. Like you can say you can't pick some guy that's like the 1,000th guy and say, oh, he's the best.
So I've got mine.
Okay. Let's hear Mike's.
Should I put them in order or no particular order?
Go 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Prince, number 3.
And Prince wasn't in the top 25, which he's in my top 10.
Prince is incredible.
What? Unbelievable.
Prince, number 3 for me. Guitar.
Prince is a great musician.
Right.
If you're doing top 25 musicians, he's got to be on that list. Got to be top 10.
But everybody knows in that whole that know him.
Yeah,
he's dead now, but
fucking
he was shredder.
Yeah, and he can and with feeling and the songs.
Oh yeah,
and can write a song, can write with feeling, can do blues, can do rock, can do
my
pop.
Mom, when I was little, you got to remember we weren't allowed to listen to
secular music.
Yeah, but for some weird reason, when I was 5, we were watching Friday night videos as a family together. So at this time, it was 1984. So it's time after time, and girls just wanna have fun, and then Raspberry Beret.
Yeah, Purple Rain was huge, and
Friday night videos. So they're playing the only videos they've had for the past 4 years,
the
or
top
5 years.
10 pop hits.
Yeah, so they're playing all these. My mom
we sold we built this city.
Yeah, we built this city. So they come in. Mom comes in the room, and Prince is she's like. He just looks like has the devil in his eyes. He's the devil. And we're all
Prince look like he had the devil in his eyes?
She's like, I don't like his eyes.
I mean, he's got a little devious.
He looks evil.
A little deviousness. So 3 is Prince.
Yeah.
3 is Prince. I like it.
Yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan's
Number
your number
two.
2. And he wasn't on the list.
He wasn't even on.
Tony
he was top
Iommi wasn't on
25.
the list. Prince wasn't on the list. Randy Rhoads wasn't on the list. I don't know if Guitar World's more credible than Rolling Stone.
I don't know.
now at this
They
point.
put Brian May at number 1, which
Brian
awesome.
May's
But
he's
dude, what happened to
incredible.
Prince? Stevie Ray Vaughan? Come on.
But Brian May's incredible. He's really good. It's hard.
Also, okay, so Prince,
I bet if Brian May came in here and grabbed your guitar and sat down,
Oh, God.
you'd be like, "That's pretty cool."
you're number 1.
Yeah, you are number
I
one.
agree.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the room.
But if Prince did that same thing too,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It'd melt my face off.
Or
and,
Randy
and
Rhoads
Mom
or
would
Iommi.
come in and go,
The devil.
"He's got evil eyes. He's got evil devil eyes."
Maybe she was right. Maybe Mom was on to something.
Maybe.
The satanic panic in the 80s was real.
It was real
a
because I
thing.
went through it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 1.
Prince, Stevie Ray Vaughan, number 1.
Number 1's hard.
It is. And it's not for me. It's always because it's just I just stick to my guns.
You say Tony Iommi.
And I have for 30 years.
Yeah.
What gets hard for me is like 2 through 10. Actually, 3 through 10 because it's Iommi Blackmore.
Okay, so I don't listen a whole lot to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I do every now and then throw on some,
But you've heard enough to say that he's your number 2 all time to ever.
because I know the guitar playing.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm going with.
We're going-
And I
we're going-
don't listen to Prince all the time, obviously.
I listen to Prince some, though.
But
If it comes on, I don't change
somebody
it.
that I do listen to a lot that shreds on the guitar, and this is totally terrible.
Is
but
this gonna be one of these random picks that you pull out of the gutter, like you take it to like the
plays 9-string
It's
guitar.
gonna Like-
9-string guitar.
like-
Animals as leaders, dude. Mark
Yeah,
Whatever his
you
name.
don't know who this guy is? He's from
He's
Atomic
from
Punk.
Spain. This guy's from Ultimate Sludge. They hail from a little town in Stockholm,
It's gonna be
Sweden.
The Lone Ranger's
His name-
guitarist.
It's Dave Mustaine.
That was my number 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dave Mustaine was my
Dave
number 3.
Mustaine, man.
Dave Mustaine was my number 3. I will die on that hill. Mustaine is a fucking animal.
I might switch those around. Like maybe he's not number 1, but
Maybe
those
he's
are
not.
my top
Maybe,
3.
and maybe on my list he's not number 3. Maybe he's actually number 7. But Dave Mustaine is incredible.
I've
Have you seen him live?
Listen, not live, but I've just ever since I played the guitar, I've been listening to Megadeth. I owned a Jackson guitar. It was like my second guitar I ever owned. I don't,
Did
and
you have
so I
the-
always had like
Did you have the Randy Rhoads V or the
I
polka
had
dot?
I just had a Randy Rhoads V, that offset V. And I
Yeah.
sold it. So,
Oh, man.
but yeah, I've always listened to him. So he's like one of my favorites, and I
Dave
think he's
Mustaine's
amazing.
amazing. Dave Mustaine does not get the love that Dave Mustaine deserves, and it
Right.
might have a lot to do with Dave Mustaine. But
It might. Hey guys, like you want to listen to me?
I
well,
do-
you shouldn't wear any Metallica shirts to my show, man. I know you're doing it on purpose.
do you know who actually did that the other day? Did you see this? Somebody actually did that. Another notorious prick, Sebastian Bach.
Are you serious?
He's at a show. He's doing a show. He's singing, and a guy's wearing a Skid Row shirt.
No.
And he's like, "What the fuck is that, bro? Oh, you want to wear the fucking band hadn't been shit since I've been out of them? Oh, that's cool. Do whatever you want. It's your body. But like, I wouldn't be wearing a shirt of the fucking losers that like." It just goes in this rant, like on stage, in the middle of a show, couple thousand people, 1,800 people. You know about the size venues he plays, theater size, but it's full theater. He just goes off on this fan that's paid money to see him for, dude. I'm
How do
wearing.
you like he was in the band? Why is he getting pissed?
Furthermore, every song you've just done in this, the only reason we're all here is to hear the
hear
Skid Row songs.
The Skid.
I'm not now. Look, Sebastian Bach's new album is really good. It is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
He's got and his new song, his new singles. It's good and it's getting some traction. But we're here to hear you sing
Those songs.
those Skid Row songs, and you're gonna chastise me in front of this whole crowd for wearing a Skid Row shirt. The only reason we know who you are
is Skid.
is
because-
Skid Row.
Jeez.
But he just goes off, and I was like, that is the most deep. I was like, this is why nobody likes you, asshole. Like,
Turn that shirt inside out, bro.
you would, if Sebastian Bach wasn't Sebastian Bach, he would have 20 years ago already been playing again with Skid Row on a reunion tour and already made another $30 million.
Right.
And I'm not hating on somebody that makes $25,000 a night. It's a living. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not bad, right? But Skid Row has come on record and says, like both Dave and Snake have said, I would rather make what we make and not have to deal with his ass than make $100 million a day.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, because we've had multi-million-dollar offers thrown at us from promoters, and I don't give a fuck. Like,
they can't deal with you.
yeah, because they're like, yeah, okay, so I only make like what a doctor makes. I'm cool with that because
Yeah.
I don't have to, because I'm 55 and I've lived my life, and
I'm not putting up with that shit.
and I don't have to put up with that diva bullshit. And of course, Sebastian, on the other hand, he's like, these guys haven't been in a room with me since 1996, and you're like, oh, that's a good point. Then you watch him in 2024 make an ass of himself on the stage, chastising a fan, and I'm sure they're watching that going, that's why.
That's it.
Because everybody's like, why don't you just get back together, put your egos aside? Well, because this guy's a cocksucker.
This guy sucks.
Yeah.
You're with him for 2 minutes in a room, and it's 1 minute too long.
Yeah.
I know people like that.
And he does give that vibe.
Oh yeah, he gives the vibe of like, hey, is everybody looking at me right now? Is everybody looking at me right now? I know you're doing something over there, but please, could you look at me right now? What do you have to say, Sebastian? Oh, nothing. Just everybody pay attention.
Just look at me. You know,
Just, I'm saying something, so everybody needs to be like going, yeah.
you know who Sebastian Bach is in the friend group? He's the guy that's like, you could get like a promotion at work, and you just bought a new car, and your wife's pregnant, and all these cool things are happening for you, and you're kind of telling, and it's the first time you've spoken in a year, and you're like in the friend group of you and 3 buddies, and you're telling all these good things that are happening, and all he's hearing is, hope this guy shuts the fuck up soon so I can say what I want to say.
Right. He's like,
He's
I
that
can't
friend.
wait to tell this guy about the cruise I'm going to go on, and he won't shut up about his new kid that he had today.
Yeah, he's that friend.
He's the guy that's like waiting his turn to speak and not listening to it. And you're like, did you just hear what I said?
Yeah, he didn't.
No.
He didn't hear a word you said. So that's an interesting tidbit. I thought that was funny. That
was fun. There's a lot of guitarists out there, and there's a lot of unknown guitarists that probably wax the floor with everyone else. So that we've never heard of.
You always hear that, but
Dude, I can pull up some dudes on the internet that play that are blow. Like you said, you're like, oh, you're gonna come up with this guy.
yeah,
I mean,
of course I know. There's a guy. There's 38 people on TikTok who are like amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like they're mind blowing. But why aren't they writing songs? I'll tell you why. Because they probably have 10,000 tracks recorded on their computer that they don't ever do shit with. Right. They won't ever make it into a song. They won't ever get 3 other people around to help write them. They won't make songs.
Right.
So yeah,
I know some singers like that.
Yeah, there's.
You should. Okay, so like one of these bands I'm talking about, and it is one of those things where you're like listening to it and you're like, okay, that's really badass, and now I'm gonna listen to somebody else. It's like progressive metal, gent.
Yeah,
music is Animals as leaders, and they're awesome.
They're really good.
I'm trying to. Tosin Abasi is the lead guitar.
That sounds like somebody who would be a great guitar player.
Yeah, and he plays like 8-string.
Now
guitar.
let's get into this fun conversation. Who's the worst drummer in music?
Oh my gosh!
Besides Lars Ulrich.
That's besides Lars, because I was gonna say Lars.
That's the only one I can think of. Everybody else.
See when they were doing like they had him hooked up to the thing to do the video game where you're playing remember those old video games
like Rock Band?
Rock Band.
Yeah.
And they had like all the bulbs on Lars, and he's wearing like the
sure
bulbs.
Lars couldn't even get past beginner.
They couldn't even he couldn't even play his own songs to make it go along with the song, and it's funny. Because he can't even get the beginnings of them down. All the hard stuff they did back in the day.
That video that you and I were talking about yesterday outside, when I was like, "Oh, have you seen the video when him and James are talking?" And James like, "I just like it when you play regular." And he's like,
right.
He's like, "What do you mean regular?" He's like, like keep the beat.
keep the beat.
And he's like. And James like, I'm just trying to be careful. I don't want to say regular because I know that like you're going to get offended. But like I'm used to the drummer doing the. He's actually James says, I'm used to the drummer doing the beat part. This is like pre-show. They're fixing or they're like in the recording studio. It's really, It's really, but he is a marketing genius, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
man, I mean,
look, Lars,
he's
like,
perfect.
It's great on the drums.
What everyone says to keep the peace on the internet, if they're a musician or whatever, they'll say Lars is perfect for Metallica.
Yeah,
That's just like the stock answer that you need to give because everyone wants to say like, God, he's really bad.
I would really like to hear like Josh Freese play for Metallica. That's who I'd want to hear.
How badass would that be?
That would be incredible. They would,
Or
they
even
would
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Just
But
somebody
Josh
that
Freese.
just
Josh Freese jumps in and plays. He can play anything, any style, any way, and he would do Lars but better.
Yeah.
Like it would be like, is that Lars? Holy shit, that's too good to be Lars. But it kind of sounds like Lars.
Have you seen the dude on TikTok who does drum videos?
With doing the one hand. And
No. He
the
does
beard.
No, he does other songs with if Lars Ulrich was the drummer. So he'll just play it and then he'll be like, and then just do like this unnecessary fill that doesn't fit in, and then just like
hit the cymbal like when you're supposed to hit the cymbal on the downbeat. Lars always waits and then hits it like after the downbeat. He's like gang 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 gang, and then it's kind of his style, which makes it kind of cool. It comes in.
Well, you know how Lars tried to defend it. So when James called his playing regular or whatever, or like I want you to just keep the beat or whatever, Lars like, well, I just thought like your guitar playing was kind of stock. It's like stock. And so like I'm just trying to add something different to it. And James like, that doesn't have any credibility. He's like, I'm just telling you to keep the beat. So like you got your feelings hurt. So now you're trying to say that like my guitar playing is
sucks.
stock.
It's stock.
And he's like, what the fuck do you want me to say? It's stock to my ears. It's stock. It's very stock to my ears, okay? Very stock, very standard. I was trying to make it sound different. And he was like, okay, yeah, yes, my playing was stock. That's why you can't keep the beat. He's like, so Lars was taking the angle that he's intentionally not keeping the beat to give it this different flair.
Give it a flair.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's such a baby. That's like something like a kid would say.
Yeah, but he was 50.
Yeah, I know. He's been treated so well his whole life. He's a man-child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's Lars Ulrich. He's a tennis pro. Was going to be a pro tennis player.
Have you ever heard Jim Brewer's story about the backpack?
No.
Go with Lars?
You got to tell it.
So I won't be able to tell it as good as Jim Brewer, but
Right.
So they were, I think he's been interviewing like Howard Stern or something. Like, oh, so you and Lars, y'all are buddies. He's like, well, we used to be. And he's like, oh, what do you mean you used to be? He's like, I can't hang out with him anymore. Like, he goes, I went out, he goes, I went out with him one time. We go, he's like, call him. He's like, oh, bro, let's go out. Let's hit the town. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay. He's like, hell yeah, I'm good to hang out with Lars. He's like, so we go out. He's like, and this college kid, like, takes his backpack off like across the street and like forgets it and leaves it. And I'm like, oh shit. He's like, I got to go get this for this kid or whatever.
Right.
So he's like, I go over there to get Lars. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm just getting this kid's backpack. It's probably got like all his probably got his computer in there and like,
Yeah.
He's like, I put the backpack. He's like, you're not going to fucking carry that backpack around all night. he's like, I'm walking with the backpack and he's like, bro, lose the fucking backpack. Like, man, he's like, the kid he's like, so anyway, long story short, he's like, I keep the backpack on. Lars is just getting madder by the minute. He's infuriated about this backpack because like I'm trying to do something nice for this kid.
It wasn't a Megadeth backpack.
No,
was
it was just a backpack from the college. He's like, but Lars is so pissed that it's going to make him look not cool that he's walking around with this grown man with a backpack. So he's like, so we go to one bar and I've still got the backpack on it. No. He's like, and Lars is getting drunk, doing a little blow or whatever, and he's getting madder by the minute about this. He's like, so we walk outside. He's like, bro, lose the fucking backpack now. And he's like, hey man, he's like, I don't want to lose the backpack for this kid. So he takes the backpack from me and throws it in the fucking road. He's like, there's your fucking backpack. Go get your fucking backpack. He's like, so he goes, okay. So so we're past the backpack thing. It's in the road. It's over with. Yeah. So he's like, we're going to this club where these celebrities are hanging out. So we go in this club, Jim Brewer. You know Jim Brewer's, right? The comedian?
Yes.
So he's like,
hey, I had to, real quick. I used to listen to Jim Brewer every day on Sirius XM. Like, he had a show every day. Well, I drove truck. It was at like 4 o'clock, I think, every day. I listened to it every day for
So you can
years.
appreciate, you can kind of see how Jim would be telling the story better than me. But, like, I'm telling it the best I can to. So he's like, so they go to the club. He's like, so we go. He's like, and you walk in. He's like, oh my God. He goes, this is like an underground club. You got to go in a basement. You got to know somebody. And Jim Brewer's like, I'm not.
Blade.
He's like, I'm not this cool, so I'm not used to being in these places. And you look around, it's like Jack Nicklaus and fucking Madonna. It's just A-listers everywhere. He's like, so we're hanging out. And he's like, this is cool, man. And Lars is vibing. He goes, and night goes on. It's like 2:30 in the morning. He's like, well, I'm like 45 at the time, and I have kids. And he's like, hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and head. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna. It's like almost 3 a.m. I got kids that got to school. Like, I gotta go, bro. He's like, I can't fucking believe you're gonna fucking leave right now. Right now, in front of all these people, you're gonna just
in front of all these.
You're just gonna leave? And he's like, yeah, man, I gotta go. And he's like, so I left at like 3 a.m. And he goes, that's the last time I've ever spoken to Lars. So that story just think it just kind of tells you like what a colossal douche he probably is.
Oh yeah. Like he's got to be in control of the
everything.
situation.
Yeah, you can't carry the backpack for that kid.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave when I say we leave, which is when anybody that I might deem more famous than me leaves. Then maybe we'll have permission to leave. He's like, I don't fucking need permission to leave. It's 3 a.m. Like, I'm not 20. Like, you're not gonna peer pressure me into staying. Oh, we've hung out for 10 hours.
Oh my God.
We had a pretty good time till you threw the backpack in the road.
Yeah.
And now, so.
Well, you get older and you just cut those people out of your life. And then you end up with like 2 or 3 good friends because you can handle them. Yeah, because everybody else over a period of time, you're like, God, this guy likes me to hang out, but he's always trying to control me. Yeah, he's always like, hey, here, take this motorcycle and go home with it, blah blah blah, and then they want a favor, or hey, do this.
Yeah,
and
you get over.
Go ahead and come over and just do whatever you want, and blah blah blah, and then they hold it over your head, and you're like, I can't hang out.
When
with
you
this
get past 25, you just have to accept when somebody says they need to go, they need to go. Like,
go.
who are you to like try to like?
I actually think
friends
though,
like
that people that are younger now, they do their own thing. Like
because then people don't hang out. Like we grew up hanging out. Though.
Hanging out.
Like hang is the hang. You're always about to hang.
Phones. Well, first, video games made it possible for you as a child to make your own decisions on a television screen, and then enter phones where you're just you do whatever you want on your phone. It's your phone. Like video games, you're making decisions. So then you're growing up.
It customizes your
experience as a person. So like us, what did we do? We didn't have all that, so we would like get together in a room, in a basement, or in a garage, smoke cigarettes and drink a beer.
And when you're young,
somebody would go to leave, you'd be like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing leaving?" And now everybody, I think,
but you have to grow past that. That was Jim Brewer's point. Like he's like, we were like 45, 48 years old. We weren't like 22.
Yeah,
and he was
then
still
as
trying
you
to
get older,
and he's like, he was genuinely pissed, like so pissed that we were cool and friends, like cool enough that he would call me to hang out. Yeah. Like, never spoke to me again.
Never called him again because he's a downer.
Yeah, but I think mostly it was the backpack.
The backpack bothered him so much.
Outraged him.
It had to be a lot of cocaine involved in that with him because that sounds like some coke-headed up dude would do. Just fixate on something.
Oh yeah,
and then just give you shit about it all night,
and then can't leave it alone.
Can't leave it alone.
That's definitely a cokehead thing. People get on coke and save the world's problems, but they won't do shit. But they'll talk about everything.
A mile a minute.
Oh my God. Maybe what's more annoying, a dude coked out of his mind or a drunk chick under 28? For me, nothing's worse than a drunk woman under 28. That is the apex predator of bullshit. Like, you want to see, if you want me to exit a place, throw a bunch of 20-something girls and get them hammered. I will run for the hills. That is a level 11 annoyance. But a coked out dude's pretty up there because coked out dudes, they know everything about everything. But if you're not on coke, nothing they're saying makes sense. You're like, this dude's a fucking idiot.
When I was 20 and I was over in Shreveport playing music and going in bars, some guy was like, hey Mike, you do cocaine? I was like, no, dude. And he's like, more for me, cool. And that's just how they act. More for me. Like right out of the game. You do cocaine? No, man, I don't. More for me.
That's just funny. Like, I mean, they're kind of fun, I guess, till they're not.
Yeah.
They're kind of fun till they're not, and when they're not, it's real like, okay, dude, you gotta fucking get away from me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what else? We haven't even got. Oh shit, we got so off topic the past 2 days. We haven't even.
We didn't talk. We talked a little bit about
Kamala. We haven't talked about Kamala, the new presidential appointee.
Yeah.
If you were not, there's no. Let's just forget a democratic process. Let's forget the Democrats getting to choose who they want.
Yeah.
We're just going to anoint the chosen one. How do you feel about that as an American?
How do I feel about that?
Feel good about it, or you like it, or are you with her?
I didn't think like
That's the catchphrase.
Everybody was like saying all that, and I was like, well, he just kind of gave her a blessing, right? She's not the Democratic
who
nominee.
picked her?
Well, they haven't.
She polled
even
at
had
zero.
They haven't even had the convention yet.
I know.
So are they going to pick her at the convention?
The last time when the last Democratic primary, she polled at zero. She couldn't even win her own state.
Right.
And now they're just like appoint her, and they're going to try to gaslight us again.
Yeah, I saw
into
an
believing
article
how
where
wonderful
it's
she is,
saying like how she's beating Trump, and I was like, there ain't no way. I was like, quit printing these lies on my computer screen.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
One day after she gets the nod, a new poll comes out that now Kamala's in the lead. Oh, can you believe it?
Trump's
no, I can't.
Trouble. I can't believe it because they're gonna regurgitate that bullshit until people are like, oh yeah, well maybe she is in the lead, and then they do what they do.
Here's the big trick. You're gonna be a sexist and a racist if you say if you question anything, you're gonna be deemed a sexist or a racist.
Well, everybody that knows me knows I'm not sexist or racist, so
me too.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine with me. If strangers think that because of somebody, I want to choose somebody over somebody else.
And I don't comment really on I don't comment on the internet and have a podcast, but I mean I don't go into like comment sections and comment, right? Like
I don't fight with people. I don't fight with all the bots.
I just say what I say on the podcast, and we post it up on TikTok
and
where people
leave it.
And I let people go crazy like you're a fucking idiot. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot.
Post and ghost.
Yeah, what am I gonna argue with your ass about? Like, what am I going to try to convince you I'm not an idiot? I don't give a fuck what you think.
Could you please watch the podcast 2 more times so we have 25 views?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit.
That's like the only comment I'll make. I'll be like, thanks for the comment.
Yeah, that's what I always say. I'm always like, hey, like, because there's one time, like, I paid for a couple of ads. So, like, if you're, like, cruising on Google, you'd see us on the side and, like, maybe click it. And some guy, like, clicked on it, then went to it, and took time out of his day to say, when I search for Joe Rogan, I want Joe Rogan. And I was like, thanks for watching. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, if you're
then click on Joe Rogan.
If you're searching for Joe Rogan, you saw my face on the thumbnail. What the fuck did you press it for?
Right.
Do I look like Joe Rogan?
We don't have the cameras.
I'm not a kickboxer, bro.
He's like, when I search for Joe Rogan, I want Joe Rogan. Well,
I mean, I get it. I do too.
Then learn how to search better.
When I search for Joe Rogan, I just find it and I'm able to watch it.
Yeah, I don't search Joe Rogan and then see not Joe Rogan, click on it, and then decide to make a comment to some guys about it. Like, that's ridiculous.
My favorite is when people say, these guys don't know what they're talking about. I'm like, we already told you the name. We're called the Know Nothings. What are you talking about?
And then that one guy was like, I'm sure a casino is going to get rid of their their license because of your $1,000. Well, motherfucker, it wasn't $1,000. I'm on the internet. I don't want to say how much money I was squeezing out of the machine, you dipshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I said $1,000 to make the math easy.
Just to make it where people could understand.
And he's like, oh, they're not going to $1,000. It was more than $1,000.
And I still, I don't know, back to that whole conversation from about 20 podcasts ago, but or 10 podcasts ago. I don't think they turn it on and off. I think the slot machines are, but it was really it's really weird coincidence how it works.
I saw an article after that because everything's listening to us. Mm-hmm. It pushed me an article where a guy that worked at a casino said absolutely they can make machines cold and hot at will.
Really?
Yeah.
So they can just say,
this
might still have to be 6% win rate.
This guy over here's just won $10,000 in 2 hours. We need to calm this machine down. Because even in Casino, watch Casino. In Casino, when the guy is like working at the casino and the machines are hitting on in his spot, and then he fires him, and it's the commissioner's like son-in-law, and he's like, either he's an idiot or he was in on it. But I can't have somebody sitting around these machines when they're going off like that and not put a trade in on it. Or which means trade. Back then, I'm sure they just unplugged the machine and took it out and put
a new
one
machine in.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, but now they just that lady, they're just like, and then they go bloop bloop bloop, and you know that it's legal somewhere in legalese.
Well, as long as if you say a machine pays out 6% a month, if that's what you advertise or whatever, or our slots pay 97% win rate, as long as you're probably, And who knows what they're probably skirting the law here and
Oh,
there.
yeah.
They're fucking
It's a casino.
The whole thing's founded by the mob. It's not like found by Jesus, right? Like
The whole thing is for them to take money out of everyone's pockets and then give it to like a couple of people that win to keep you coming back to be like, that's going to be me next time.
yeah, you have to have some winners. If you don't have some winners, you'll go out of business.
That's why when you walk into them, they're like, here's the guy that won last month, $1 million.
Or like when you walk into Horseshoe, they got the wall. Or is it the Horseshoe with $1 million wall?
Yeah.
Have you been in there?
Yeah.
You know what? So they got
Not lately.
It's $1 million of actual $1 million. And
Oh, really?
you know how much space?
I don't remember.
When you walk in, it takes up like 100-foot wall of $100 bills, top to bottom. That's what $1 million looks like, and it's behind glass, and it's like the $1 million wall.
Wow.
So you're looking at it,
And it's $1 million.
Yeah, it's $1 million, but it goes for like twice as long as your driveway.
Oh my god.
20 feet high, $100 bills. That's
Really?
$1 million is a lot of money.
Wow.
Way more
Yeah,
than you'd
it's a
think.
lot of-
We just
It's $1 million actually.
Yeah.
$1 million. But those were hundreds.
Yeah, those were hundreds. So, but I'm saying because we do exist in this time, and with the internet, you hear all this shit thrown. So I think we lose perspective of like what $1 million is.
Right.
Because there was like, you'll hear people say like, "Oh, I can't believe Mike got this contract with the Seahawks, and he's such a good linebacker, and they only paid him $12 million. That seems they're robbing his ass." And you're like,
what?
that's kind of a lot of money, dude.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you do, because then you have people like, Patrick Mahomes makes $550 million, and Elon makes, I think, what did Elon make, $34 million a day last year?
I don't
So
want to know that.
So I know when you hear shit like that, though, it makes you lose perspective of what $1 million is, which is still a tremendous amount of money.
I don't have $1 million, so I haven't lost my perspective yet. I'll be like, oh wow, $1 million.
If you did, you'd probably even have more perspective of it. If you had $1 million, because you'd be like, well, it took me till I was 63 to get this $1 million.
Right.
So like, it's obviously kind of hard to get. Well, they do say the hardest one to get your first million.
First million, and then it's easier after your first million.
Which is totally true, because when you have that first million, you can leverage yourself.
Yep.
You just have more business opportunities. You have more opportunities for your money
You
to
have
make
more
money.
opportunities to get into better businesses.
Yeah.
With partners and stuff that actually make money.
Yeah. Or you need to glom on to some other rich people.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you can rub elbows and talk about stuff. I don't know. I'm looking here at the news, trying we did.
Oh,
we
you talked about the Secret Service. You saw the Secret Service. She stepped down.
Yeah.
She stepped. So they were grilling. We talked about that in the last podcast. They were grilling her ass, man. The Dems, the Republicans. That's the first time I've seen them all agree. Right.
Right.
Have you ever seen them agree on anything?
Never.
If you ever see Democrats and Republicans agreeing on something, that's when you can finally go, damn, that might be right. And they were. She had to go.
Well, you said yesterday, like, they all agree on it because those are the people that protect them.
Yeah.
And they want those people to be people that can do that.
Yeah.
Because they protect them.
And it was such a lapse that, like, she absolutely had to go.
That was nuts. That was
It
calamity.
was nuts. It is nuts. It's still nuts. Has there ever been a bigger blunder in security history than what the Secret Service did for Donald Trump? Like, that's the biggest blunder. That's some shit you would see on, like, Andy Griffith. Like, if you ever watch Andy Griffith, like the gold truck comes through town and Barney Fife's trying to figure it out, but he ends up telling everybody, and like they reroute the gold truck to a different route, and like
because this guy he had piqued the interest of the police that were already there. Mm-hmm. Because he actually was just hanging around outside and he wasn't going in. Then
with a rangefinder.
Then I was gonna say, then they saw he pulled out a rangefinder and he's like looking around with a rangefinder, and still person of interest didn't go up and say anything to him. He's
still not a threat. He's just a person of interest, not a threat.
Here's another interesting thing.
Lays on the roof with a gun, still not a threat.
Still not a threat. Yeah. He had a receipt in his pocket for a ladder, and there was no ladder there. So that tells me that he bought a ladder, took it.
There was a ladder there.
I read where there wasn't a ladder. Yeah, somebody took the ladder away.
But there was a ladder that he used that he propped up against the building that he climbed up.
Was it still there? The article I read said there was no ladder there that
Hell,
he bought.
the Secret Service probably took the shit down the way it fucking looks.
What I thought that meant was that there was more than one person doing that, and he climbed up the ladder, and as a patsy, they took the ladder so he couldn't get down.
Well, if you watch the hearing, they were asking her, they're like, was there another shooter? And she was like, oh, I don't know. You'll have to ask the FBI.
Oh.
They're like, we're asking you. You're the director of the Secret Service. It's been 9 days. Like, do you think there was another shooter? You'd have to ask the FBI.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a setup.
Dude, there's no... I mean, I've grown up my whole life thinking like the Secret Service are like Navy SEALs, Rangers, like the most elite type of cats, like the type of dudes that could get anywhere under the cover of darkness and you never know what's going on. I'm thinking these, and that is what they're supposed to be, right?
Right. Well, I saw like a whole thing a couple of years ago where it shows them like training, and they're like driving that car backwards as fast as it'll go forwards, doing donuts in it, spinning out, shooting, jumping, running, and tackling stuff. And I'm like, these guys are a bunch of badasses, dude. And then
it's Pat.
And it's Pat trying to get the gun in and out of her. The other girl's taking her glasses off. She's just like, oh God, what do I do? And then, like, the threat's over. They're just standing by the car. They're like, oh God, oh God.
How about when live bullets start flying and you just like duck down, like, oh shit, what's happening? What's happening is you're supposed to get your ass over there and protect this motherfucker. Like, that's what's happening, you dumb bitch.
Your whole job is to jump on that guy, and you should have had the training.
You're ducking like, oh my God.
You would think that their training is like, I'm gonna fire these live rounds over your head, and you're gonna jump on that dummy. So you don't flinch when firing's going off. Pow, 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 pow. And they jump, and then she's like down on the ground.
It looked like they had never practiced anything.
Dude, I could have faked my way through that if I would have been one of those people. I could have faked my way out
just
of
for being an actor.
Yeah, I could have just faked it. They could have been like, hey, will you be a Secret Service guy today while this happens? And then that happens. I got my gun out, and I'm just like, making sure everything's going on.
I at least know how to look intimidating and hold the weapon and then holster it back.
Hold it, and holster it back.
I at least know, hey, we're going to make these sounds. It sounds like bullets. You're going to need to run into the president and be like, all right,
got him.
I mean, nobody knows how they're going to react until you're in a situation. But
why is everything so strange? Why is everything that happens so odd?
We hop timelines. We're in a different dimension. We're
definite.
We're heading to 5D.
Speaking of hopping timelines and the Mandela Effect, Richard
Simmons died again.
When
I was on the beach, I saw that he died. I go, Richard Simmons died. I was telling my sister and brother-in-law and my wife, I was like, hey, Richard Simmons died. And then I was like, didn't Richard Simmons already die? And they were like, well, no, obviously not. You're reading that. I was like, I swear, I think I remember him dying, bro.
But you got to remember, the timeline that I'm from, Richard Simmons always had a headband. And if you look on the internet...
No headband.
There's no headband. But if you look at people in pictures dressed up as him...
Always a headband.
Always a headband.
Because he always wore a headband. Somebody went back... It's almost like Back to the Future where his parents didn't meet and they didn't kiss, so he starts disappearing. Whatever they did, it made his headband just erased from existence. Check this out. Bob Newhart just died, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a theory, and I can't remember... But they say at the end of Elf, which was like 2003,
Bob Newhart.
They said, in memory of Bob Newhart.
Oh, for real? Why do I kind of remember that?
Now, when they said it, I was like, I kind of remember it too. But
or is that just memory?
No,
that's just memory.
No, and then
I kind of remember.
Well, somebody else online was like, I vividly remember when Bob Newhart died because my dad was this huge Bob Newhart fan, and he droned on and on and on about how much he loved Bob Newhart and his comedy and all this.
Well,
he was already dead,
effect.
And Dr. Ruth has already died, and she died last week, the same day as Richard Simmons.
A lot of people died.
And the same day they tried to assassinate Trump.
Yeah, a lot of people died.
On the same time or day when that happened, it was like, Richard Simmons is dead, Dr. Ruth is dead. Well, what if they're already dead? Am I fucking crazy? I feel crazy all the time.
Yeah, I know.
All the time.
All
like
the
literally.
time.
The past 5 years, I mean, I'm just in a constant state.
I go out in
nuts.
public, and I can't believe how rude everybody is, and that's just not.
I think in the new timeline, I think they're cool again. Since the miss of President Trump, I think they're cool again. That's if you're ascending to 5D, it's a higher level of higher consciousness where people are nicer and people are more understanding, and there is more love and peace and all these good things. That's supposed to be where we're trying to ascend to. That's the theory, right? Like, so. Take notice because I haven't like socialized enough in the past week, I guess. But they're saying like there's a change in the air. Like, it was since. But did these people die? Did they not die?
I thought it was odd that they all died all at the same time.
Do you know why it's called the Mandela Effect?
Yeah, because Nelson Mandela, they all got in there was a conference going on, and some lady said something about Nelson Mandela being dead, and they were like, no, he's not. And they're like, no, he died in prison
in the 90s.
In the 90s when he was in Africa, and people were like, no, he didn't. He got out, and he was a part of apartheid and all this stuff, and he didn't. And half the room was like, he was dead. They were like, how many people think Nelson Mandela is dead? And like half the room raised their hand. And then they were like, how many people think he's alive? And they raised their hand. And that's where
George Bush
came from.
George Bush was making a speech about Mandela's death.
Yeah.
Like when he's supposed to be alive.
Right.
But Richard Simmons and Dr. Ruth, I remember them dying. Like, don't vividly remember it.
Don't you remember, like, Richard Simmons used to go on the Howard Stern show all the time, and then he died and he wasn't ever on it. And
yeah,
that was it. Like, he was not on the show, and he hadn't been on the show in years.
I wish I would have thought to, like, Google Richard Simmons, like, 3 days before. Like, I mean, hindsight being 2020, right. And then just, is it, what is your, I mean, my assessment is we're definitely, you know, I'm a simulation dude. I mean, right. I think we're in a simulation. Like, and there's no, and the more this kind of shit happens, like the Trump, how does it just hit his ear? Like the odds of that have got to be 1 in a billion.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it shows it close up, it going
it's a
through
bullet.
His ear. It's a bullet going through his ear.
And they're like, anybody that thinks Trump set it up, I'm like, who do you trust enough to shoot your ear off from 100 yards away? No one. Not a soul on earth. Not the baddest fucking sniper that's ever lived.
If Chris Kyle was alive, I would still say no.
No, you're not getting shoot at my ear. No.
Especially him. He would never.
They're like, look, it's gonna be a huge thing. It's gonna help your campaign. I'm just gonna hit your ear.
Somebody had like caps and they cap it off, and he has like a blood thing in his hand, and he goes down and slaps his ear, and then blood comes down, and it looks like he got shot, and then they just cover it up. And
but because of how fast they were doing the camera, they caught the bullet flying.
Yeah.
But okay, at the same time that happens, all these deaths just all of a sudden happen of these like B and C lister, because you could say Richard Simmons and Dr. Ruth are like C listers at this point, right? No one's talked about them for 30 years.
Right.
My kids don't even know who Richard Simmons is, no clue.
Or we're just at the age where those people that we knew when we were younger, they're just dying off.
But people that are, but they died off. We were that age. I was that age when I was 35. Like 15 years ago or whatever, right? Like that we were already that age. We're like, oh, the people that were my heroes are starting to die. Now, and it's never we're never seeing a duplicate death of somebody that's mega famous. You couldn't pull that off. You couldn't say like Michael Jackson died again.
Yeah.
Which have you seen the theory that Jackson's alive? Okay. There's footage that's emerged matching the plates from the coroner's wagon.
Yeah.
And somebody had a video from 2009. They matched the plates. They show up. This is the van that picked him up. This is blah blah. This is the plate. And they show somebody happened to have a camera when it pulled up, and you can see a dude that has a gait like Michael Jackson get out the back of the ambulance and walk into the hospital.
Are you serious?
You should. I wish you could pull it up and show the people. I mean, can you pull it up right there?
Yeah.
It's Michael Jackson was a master of disguise, right?
What would it be on? He was a master of disguise.
No, did you know? I mean,
didn't know that.
No, he used to like put on. He had the money to do whatever he wanted. He used to put these disguises on where he Mike looked like Mike Hinkle, where he could just walk around.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they said he had disguises that he would sometimes mess with people, and you'd show up and he would look like whoever, a professor with a mustache or whatever. But these were these skin masks, which they're saying.
Oh, I've seen all the skin mask stuff. Where
Jackson was the innovator of that. But there's video, and you should really find the video. We won't be able to show our audience, but so we're not going to be able to show y'all. So look it up. Oh, you can?
I've got this. I've got this nifty cord here.
Well, I want y'all to see the video, and then just people. This will be about the end of the show, so we'll look at this and opine on it for a minute. I want y'all to look at this video, and tell me what you make of it. Like,
see if I can get this to work. If not, then I'll get it to work.
If not, next time.
Let's see.
You're trying to hook it up to this bad boy?
Yeah, it's right here. I don't think it.
There it is. That's it, right?
That's it. Okay. So I need to find.
Michael Jackson gets out of ambulance.
The scene where Michael Jackson. Okay, Michael Jackson
exits ambulance. Let's see if that works. I mean, this is one of the videos I saw. I was like, and then this dude went through all the trouble to like magnify and match the plates that picked him up when he was dead.
This is it right here?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
What's that one say?
Why did it take so long for him to confirm his death? Maybe just go on. Let me go on a Google search here.
What if a lot of these people just get enough of celebrity and they do just fake their own death?
Right. I think a lot of them do.
That's not outrageous, right?
I think a lot of them do. So, what do you want me to type in here?
Michael Jackson walks out of ambulance, or so, yeah, something like along those lines. Or Michael Jackson still alive, exits ambulance. It's a really convincing video. I'm not saying it's true or untrue. I'm saying there's a video that exists. It's worth looking at. Just like there's lots of stuff that's crazy. Nobody wants to look at the crazy shit because they're scared they're going to be called crazy. That's what's fun about this show is we can kind of
skirt all that,
and look at it and see like, hey, just what do you think? I'm not saying it's not true because the dude that gets out now, obviously you can't see his face or anything, right? He's like covered up.
Yeah.
When he gets out, but you know how Michael Jackson moves and walks and looks.
Right.
You're unable to find it.
Oh, I'm looking so we.
You
can
know what Michael Jackson moves? Just like if you're friends with somebody, you know how they move and walk. You don't have to see their face to be like, oh, that's Mike.
Right.
And Michael Jackson was definitely to the level of fame where he would be like, dude, I'm just gonna fake my death and get the hell out of here and take my $1 billion and go.
Yeah, live my life.
Go sit on the island for 50 years. He was only like 50-something years old, maybe 40-something years old. He was he 50 even when he died? Because it's now been 15, 16 years.
That's not it.
It's been 15 or 16. Anyway, you can do your own research. I thought we'd be able to pull it up. I'm sorry. They're gonna say you should have had the video fucking ready to go. Well,
dude,
guess what?
we go by the seat of our pants on there. We don't even know what we're gonna talk about when we sit down. Who cares?
We don't even have like an agenda to get started. So
right. We just go for an hour.
Anyway, we couldn't find it, so that's
Hold on.
I hope you can. If you can find it, it's really cool.
No, that's too old. I'll find it and then we'll watch it in the next one.
We'll watch it on episode 61, and
yeah,
you guys go check it out. Go to TikTok. I bet TikTok's better than anything for investigating shit.
I guess I can pull TikTok up on here, but yeah.
Yeah, well, pull it up. And see, we got time to kill. We got a minute to kill. Pull up TikTok. I want y'all to see this because I think it's kind of cool. I just don't believe anything. Have you reached the point where you just don't? I don't believe anything
I see anymore.
Anything. Everything. It could be true. It could not be true. I don't even know who we are. I don't even know who's running the country right now. I don't know who's dead and who's not dead. I don't know who's alive. I don't know who's the fucking vice president.
I don't know if aliens are real.
I don't know if the Secret Service is real or if it's Romper Room. Nothing seems real. I don't know if Michael Jackson's dead. I don't know if Michael Jackson, Elvis, and Tupac are playing pool in Jamaica. There've been some Tupac ones come out too, but those videos aren't as convincing, but they're somewhat convincing. And Michael Jackson, they say, his disguises, he could be living wherever he's living. He could be living amongst us because he's so good at those disguises. Hell, he was so good at disguises. What if the Michael Jackson we saw was a disguise? When he was just completely white?
Mm-hmm.
What if that was a disguise? Then he's really like big nose again from the 70s.
Right.
And that's what he never did go through those changes.
Oh, it's making me log in. I don't know.
Oh, well,
screw it.
We'll catch you guys next time. It was a good hour. We had fun. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Can you find? I'll find a TikTok to at least show you.